Welcome everyone to another video on our channel bringing you updates on Russia's war against Ukraine. Please subscribe to our channel to stay on top of everything that happens in the war. Ukrainian UJ-26 Bober long-range drones, operated by the country's military intelligence, carried out a precise attack on the Saki air base in Crimea, destroying a Panzer S-1 anti-aircraft system, damaging radars, and hitting a Russian Su-30 fighter jet. The action took place in the early hours of July 1st and was officially announced by the Defense Intelligence of Ukraine, which also published images of the operation. The enhanced version of the UJ-26 Bober used in the attack included an advanced thermal, camera and manual control capabilities, allowing for greater precision. Armed with heavy warheads, the drones completely destroyed the Panzer S-1 and disabled strategic Niobe SV, Pechora 3 and Protivnik GE radars, which supported the air defense coverage for other Russian units in the region. With the Russian defenses neutralized, one of the drones managed to strike inside the Saki base, exploding near an Su-30 SM fighter jet. Although there is no official confirmation of direct damage to the aircraft, the force of the explosion was sufficient to spread shrapnel and possibly damage the fighter, as suggested by images showing military personnel and equipment moving hastily at the scene. The cockpit of the Su-30 SM appeared open in the footage, indicating an attempt to evacuate or make an emergency takeoff to save the jet. The Saki airbase is considered strategic in Crimea, housing the 43rd Fighter Aviation Regiment of the Russian Aerospace Forces. Among the assets deployed at the unit are Su-30 SM multi-role fighters and Su-24M MR supersonic bombers, which have been used in attacks against Ukrainian positions since the beginning of the 2022 invasion. This was not the first time the Saki base has suffered heavy attacks. In August 2022, explosions in an ammunition depot destroyed 5 Su-24 bombers and 3 Su-30 SM fighters and severely damaged the airfield's infrastructure, as shown by satellite images. In 2024, the installation was again targeted by 8 TACMS ballistic missiles, which hit weapons depots, radars, and Russian personnel. The constant attacks against Saki highlight the growing vulnerability of Russian air infrastructure in Crimea and reinforce Kyiv's priority to degrade Moscow's ability to launch air operations from the peninsula, which is considered a key piece for controlling the Black Sea. Tonight, Russia launched one of the largest and most brutal air attacks against Ukrainian cities. In total, Putin launched 477 Iranian drones, 4 Kinzhal missiles, 7 Iskander missiles, and nearly 50 cruise missiles, causing damage, deaths, and injuries among the civilian population in the regions of Cherkasy, Sumy, Dnipropetrovsk, Poltava, Zaporizhzhia, and Lviv. One of Russia's most critical targets, Ukraine confirmed strike on missile battery factory in Lipetsk. Ukraine has confirmed strikes on the Energia factory in Russia's Lipetsk Oblast during the night of July 3rd, a facility that produces components for missiles and drones, including batteries for the Iskander missile system and cruise missiles. The attack on the Energia plant in the city of Yelets was first reported by Lipetsk Governor Igor Artamonov. Artamonov said a fire started near the facility after a drone attack, and residents reported several explosions. Employees in nearby workshops were evacuated. No casualties were reported. Residents of Yelets were reporting several explosions. Andriy Kovalenko, head of the Center for Countering Disinformation at Ukraine's National Security and Defense Council, confirmed the attack, calling the Energia plant one of the most critical targets for Russia. According to Kovalenko, the facility manufactures batteries for missile guidance and glider modules, including for the Iskander system and cruise missiles. The General Staff of Ukraine later released an official statement on July 3rd confirming the attack, saying it was carried out by the Ukrainian Armed Forces unmanned systems, forces in coordination with other defense elements. The General Staff also stated that explosions were recorded on the factory grounds and that production has been halted. The defense forces continue to take measures to undermine the military and economic potential of the Russian troops and force Russia to stop its armed aggression against Ukraine, the statement said. The results of the fire damage are still being clarified. According to the military, the Energia plant produces parts for ballistic and cruise missiles, as well as batteries for drones and glide bombs. The factory had previously been targeted several times last May. The city of Yelets is about 250 kilometers, 150 miles, north of the Russia-Ukraine border. Artemonov also claimed that the drones caused damage to other areas in the region. The debris from an intercepted drone reportedly fell on a residential building, killing one woman and injuring 2 other people. Explosions were also reported overnight in the Russian-occupied city of Kharkiv in Ukraine's Donetsk Oblast, with Russian telegram channels citing eyewitnesses who claim a missile may have hit a Russian ammunition depot. Several rounds of secondary detonations followed the initial explosion, according to the reports. The Kyiv Independent could not verify these claims. Russia's Ministry of Defense claimed that its air defenses shot down a total of 69 Ukrainian drones overnight. The ministry said 27 drones were intercepted over Belgorod Oblast, 22 over Voronezh Oblast, 10 over Lipetsk Oblast, 8 over Kursk Oblast, and 2 over Russian-occupied Crimea. Ukraine regularly attacks military targets deep within Russian territory in an effort to diminish Moscow's combat power. In Odesa, people were injured when a Russian drone hit a 9-story building. 50 people were evacuated from a 9-story residential building in Odesa that caught fire as a result of a Russian attack. 5 people were injured. On Thursday night, July 3rd, the Russian army attacked Odesa with attack drones. During the attack, a high-rise building was damaged, said the city's mayor, Gennady Trukhanov. According to the State Emergency Service, as a result of a Russian drone hitting a 9-story building, a fire broke out in the stairwell from the 7th to the 9th floors. Rescue teams evacuated 50 residents, of whom 10 people, including 2 children, were rescued with the help of special equipment. 5 people were injured. Among them are 2 children, a boy and a girl aged 7 and 9. Children with poisoning from combustion products were hospitalized. Other victims, having received all the necessary medical care, are continuing treatment on an outpatient basis, said the head of the Odesa Regional Military Administration, Oleg Keeper. The sounds of explosions in Odesa were heard around 3 o'clock in the morning, local time. Shortly before that, it was reported that attack drones were moving in the direction of the city. Russian Navy deputy chief killed in Ukrainian attack, official says. 10 other military personnel also died during the strike on a command post in the Kursk region, near the border with Ukraine. Major General Mikhail Gudkov, the deputy commander of the Russian Navy, was killed in Russia's Kursk region. Oleg Kozhemyako, the governor of a far eastern region of the country, reported on Thursday, July 3, 2025. Unofficial Russian and Ukrainian military Telegram channels had previously reported that Gudkov was killed, along with 10 other military personnel, in an attack on a command post in Koronevo, in Russia's Kursk region, which borders Ukraine. He is one of the highest-ranking Russian military officers killed by Kyiv since the start of the conflict between the countries in 2022. Governor Oleg Kozhemyako, who stated he had spoken extensively with Gudkov over the years, said in a statement that the Major General was killed in the line of duty as an officer along with others, and he expressed condolences to the victims' families. When he became the Deputy Chief of the Navy, he did not stop personally visiting the positions of our Marines, he added. Mikhail Gudkov had received decorations for bravery in military actions against Ukraine and was accused by Kyiv of war crimes. Russian President Vladimir Putin appointed him Deputy Commander-in-Chief of the Navy in March. According to a statement on the Kremlin's website, there was no immediate comment from the Russian or Ukrainian Ministry of Defense. Gudkov had led the Russian Pacific Fleet's Naval Infantry Brigade, which was fighting in Kursk. Parts of this region were captured by Ukrainian forces in a surprise offensive in August 2024, before Russia announced earlier this year that it had pushed them out. These were the main updates for today on the war of Russia against Ukraine for now. Please like this video and subscribe to our channel. We will be back soon with more news. Best wishes.